Hello and welcome back. I just thought of something. I think the last few videos for the last few days, I've been wearing the same shirt. So, what's this video about? Well, there's a few ideas that are floating around in my mind right now. And one that keeps kind of recurring. So I'll speak on that a little bit. And we'll see how that progresses. And that thought is that of enlightenment. Enlightenment is such a it's a topic that it's difficult to talk about. It's difficult to explain what it is, because in each time a person tries to explain what it is, if a person gets the wrong idea, then they could completely get the wrong picture, think they're enlightened, or work towards enlightenment as a goal, as a thing that you can get in the future. And any type of plan or any type of hope or any kind of anything you do to try to become enlightened is not going to become, it's not going to become, it's not going to lead to enlightenment. So when a person talks about it, it's very important to lay some ground rules at the very beginning so that you don't get the wrong idea and then go in the opposite direction thinking you're going in the right direction. So first of all, enlightenment is not a doing. You can't become enlightened. It's not something that you make a plan and then make a certain personality or do certain habits that will eventually lead you to become enlightened. It's not something that you accumulate, spirituality. You don't become more and more spiritual, and then when you finally hit a certain point, poof, you become enlightened. It's not at all like that. Enlightenment is really not that way at all. So, and to tell you what enlightenment is, you can't say what it is. A person could only really say what it is not. Because everything that you say that it is going to be the mind, its interpretation of it. It's like saying your shadow is you. Well, really though, your shadow is not you. You are you. And in that same way, enlightenment, when you talk about enlightenment, talking is like the shadow of enlightenment. You can't really get the idea of what a person is like by talking about their shadow. So, let me move on a little bit here and go a bit deeper about desire and fulfillment and how it relates to enlightenment. Every person on this planet, whether they know it or not, are seeking enlightenment. Even if you're a mass murderer, you're looking for enlightenment, you just don't know it. And as a matter of fact, a person who doesn't know they're looking for enlightenment has a greater chance of it happening, or of them realizing it, becoming aware of it. And it's not a thing, so I can't even call it it. But having it burst forth in their awareness, having them recognize it, is a better way to put it. If you're not looking for it and you're not aware that you're looking for it, the chances that you're going to recognize it is greater for you. So where does that leave all spiritual people seeking enlightenment? Stop seeking. If you're seeking, don't seek for enlightenment. Seek for seeking's sake. Seek because you enjoy the seeking. Enjoy every step. Don't seek for a goal. Never try to reach a goal. If you're greedy, if you're looking to accumulate people, objects, people, I say maybe you like to sleep with people and you want to have a lot of sex with people. You have just this deep desire to feel sexual pleasure. Maybe you eat a lot, overeating. Every one of these things that you do is in the search of enlightenment. I'm not making much sense, am I? And you're probably thinking, how can someone that murders people be seeking enlightenment? Every desire, every pleasure seeker, everything that a person tries to do in their life is not because they want to do that thing, but it's the state of being that they are looking for to create inside themselves. When they try to do that activity, they are doing the activity in order to create a certain inner state of being. And everything falls short in the end. Everyone is looking to be happy or to feel some sense of fulfillment or to empty themselves of negative energy, negativity in their lives. They're looking to hurt people because they want to dump and make other people feel what they felt. All of these attempts, all of these doings are in the search of your sense of feeling a form of completion. You're looking to feel some kind of completion, some kind of goal has been achieved, some kind of point where you reach the top of the mountain and you did it. You're trying to climb a mountain, so to speak, in every thing that you do in order to feel fulfillment in your life. You might not even realize you're looking for fulfillment or completion. And how does this relate to enlightenment? Enlightenment is a lot like love, that it just kind of happens when you meet a person. Just out of nowhere, you just fall in love. And enlightenment is the same sort of thing. Suddenly inside yourself, you felt enough pain in your life, and the way that you've been going about trying to be happy in your life has never worked for you, and you're ready to just drop it all. And in that moment of dropping all effort in order to try to achieve something in your life, enlightenment happens. It dawns on you. When the mind itself, everything that you try, I'm saying when I say in the mind, or the mind in this case, when you drop the mind, when the mind is able to subside, you're able to realize a state of being that is always there. And suddenly you realize that the only thing that was stopping you from feeling a sense of completion and fulfillment in your life was the look for it in the first place. Was all these expectations that you set from each goal that you think the goal is going to give you. When you project yourself into the future, let's say you imagine what it would be like to have accomplished every single desire, every thing that you want to accomplish in this lifestyle, or lifetime, excuse me. Let's say that you project yourself to what you would imagine that would feel like. There's nothing left for you to do. You did everything. You accomplished all of your goals 100%. Even the goals that you don't know you want to do now, I'm saying everything you possibly could imagine that is even humanly possible to want, you've accomplished it. That ultimate sense of let go is putting the mind aside. The mind is desire. The mind is the constant search for something more. And when the constant search for something more is gone, the same way that you look in a lake after you threw a bunch of rocks in it and the water settles, you can then see your reflection. And when you can clearly see your reflection, because the mind is out of the way, there you are. In that very instant, you can see that you never had to do a thing at all in the first place. That all of your efforts in order to achieve something in your life was for the state that you feel right now. But I'm here to tell you that you don't need to achieve everything humanly possible in order to put the mind aside. You don't need to achieve all of your desires in order for you to feel and see, experience the state of being that is always there underneath all the stories the mind creates and distractions that your mind loves to show you. The mind likes to look outward. It doesn't like to look in. So everything that you're trying to achieve in your life is for a sense of fulfillment. And you can only be fulfilled in the moment, without time, without the projections of future, ideas from the past, memories. Enlightenment is human being, not human doing. And the paradox is, although you might not need to fulfill all your desires in order to realize yourself and to feel fulfilled, that oftentimes the mind won't give you permission to put it down until the mind itself feels as though it's been completely exhausted. So this brings me back to one of the things that I was talking about earlier in the video. I just quickly touched on it. It takes you reaching your ultimate bottom. It takes an enormous amount of pain. Enlightenment is only realized through the fire and that ultimate frustration that a person reaches when they realize that everything you can try to do will ultimately fail. And within that moment, when your frustration and your reliance on your mind to bring you that sense of fulfillment, when that is complete, when it feels it's ultimately complete and you drop the mind, then enlightenment begins to become a reality for you in your life. I want to say it's a state of being, but it's much more than that, and it's not that at the same time. But that's much closer than a state of doing. Wow, what a topic I chose to speak on today. Very, very deep, probably the deepest video that I've made so far, and the most difficult to really understand. Like I put in some posts earlier today on Instagram, It's very much like trying to explain what love feels like. And when you try, you can use words like irrational, you feel like you're going insane, confused, you don't feel like yourself. Love is very close to enlightenment as far as words, as far as what a person can use as an example to try to help you get an idea of what it is. But the idea that your mind might be painting for you right now, that it thinks enlightenment is not enlightenment. If you try to reach for that vision that your mind may be creating for you right now, you're going away from enlightenment. It's as if you weren't in love, and I tried to tell you what love is, but you really want to feel love. Well, if you try to imagine what love is like and then try to become loving or try to be in love, it's impossible. You're never going to be able to be in love. But the moment you see the right person, it just pops onto you. So in that same way, there's nothing you can do for enlightenment to happen. You need an infinite amount of patience, and you need to learn to enjoy the moment. You need to be content with not having it happen. If it's something that you want, you need to be content with it never coming. And you have to allow yourself to feel the pain that is inside. You have to be courageous and not try to be courageous. You know what? I'm going to end the video there because enlightenment is the very paradox of life itself. It's beyond duality, good and bad, which is why it's so difficult to talk about it, because language is a dualistic way of expression, and you can't say one thing without counterbalancing it when it comes to enlightenment. If I say enlightenment is not this, then I have to say it is this. And both of them are wrong, because enlightenment itself is going to be beyond the two opposites, the two extremes of what I'm talking about. At best, it can give you an idea, a sort of like a signpost. It could say, oh, I don't do this. I recognize myself doing that. I need to understand that what I'm doing right now is not going to do it. So at best, it can kind of help you by seeing what you're doing wrong, I guess, what not to do. And by using examples like love, it could give you a kind of example of, so that when it happens to you, you can say, well, oh, I can kind of see the similarities between this strange state and how love is irrational and seems to be completely opposite of what society has taught me. So, anyways, I leave you with that. Enlightenment, what a heavy topic. Impossible to explain. Wherever you are around the world, whatever time it is that you're watching this video, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. Peace.